All right, peace, peace, peace. First and foremost, man, hopefully the Most High in your house shall blessing your day. By His mercies, we are consumed. We're alive in the Most High in your house shall body and two are naturally alive. And yeah, man, I want to get into this, man, because I was like talking about this with my homie, honestly, and how honestly too, because we was talking about like this whole thing, because Eagles, like I've been watching. I like sports, like the Eagles are my like favorite team. I say. Watching the NFL seasons back, and we've been kind of paying attention kind of throughout this. We've been talking about the whole like AJ Brown situation, right? But even before then, every time we talk about sports, me and him, we talk about because this is not just in sports, it's in life in general, and how certain times certain people just don't mesh well, or like certain times like things that you might think things might happen a certain way, like working with a loved one or a friend or things of that nature, or pretty much a loved one, friend, family member, whatever, and it might not work out. Like it might work out honestly, but it might not work out honestly. Or sometimes even like when in the sports world, like having like the brother. I was watching the I think I'm not sure it was a recent class, but the brother that sent me first more said like people realize like even in the sports world, right? Like you have you know certain times even teams with a lot of talent doesn't mean that they're always going to win, right? Because they still got to put in the work and things of that nature, man. And things like because there's plenty of teams like for example that had like talent. Like if you look on paper, it was talented, but they didn't win. But they were supposed to win, but they had all this talent. Like we shoot. Speaking of the Eagles, man, like remember, of course, most of y'all pay attention to football and are like the Eagles as well. Y'all remember that 2012 like dream team, quote unquote, the dream team things in nature, and that just was a disaster. But I think of other teams like this, like Lob City, like with the 2010s, like the Clippers, the LA Clippers in 2010, like with Chris Paul, Blake Griffin, DeAndre Jordan, and Crawford, and all them, or like that those late 2010 Steelers with with Ben with Big Ben, Le'Veon Bell, Antonio Brown, like this who else? Well, Juju, he came later on. Who was that? Marcus Wheaton, and it was somebody else, another receiver as well. Like you look at the times like teams like that, just talented, but they just didn't win. You still got to put in the work, and it's about system and execution and things of that nature. But I say all this to say certain that we just use that example in the sports world, but certain times, man, like me and my brother, yeah, me and my homie, like this was going into, man. Certain times, people like in life, like just doesn't mesh, and that's fine. It's cool, like that's nothing wrong with that. Like we just that's why we gonna actually that leads us to this, man. Because I was looking at this I was looking at Genesis 1 yesterday, man, but but this ties into something deeper, but because usually when we talk about this scripture, we just usually mention like what we just talked about, what we just mentioned about how people just because everybody's gonna cleave to their con, man. Like you got certain times got like yeah, we see this dynamic like on the workplace and jobs and life, man. Got the even high school, right? You had the athletic people that hang with the athletic people, man. The quote unquote jocks. You had the artsy people hanging with the artsy people. Got the laid back people hanging with the laid back people. Kind of had the had the quote unquote like the I don't even want to say nerds and things like that nature, because I mean, if you want to call them that, but people like that are like that, that played on it, like they might not be on the athletics like team, but it is a sport within itself. But you got the debate, like people like that are in the debate club, or like the spelling bees, or like the chess club. Well, me personally playing chess 10 years, chess is a sport if you ask me. It is a sport. So you got them over there, and sometimes you got you got the damn there the got the damn what else I'm trying to think of you got the damn troublemakers hanging with the troublemakers, and you got to be honest with you, I'm be honest with you, got the like girls that are hoes, they're gonna be hoes, and because we be honest, that's happening in high school, we seen that. You got, and that happens in life, man. People gonna cleave to their kind, honestly. So yeah, that's just is what it is. I'm missing some people. Got the funny people hang with the funny people. Now it's an outlier a lot of times, because too certain times you got certain people like that can be cool, that can like be cool with kind of everybody. It's like, all right, cool, like this, and that's where kind of the work goes into. Honestly, like when you know how to season your words with salt, know how to answer every man, like you know how to adapt to different people in different places during certain situations. So yeah, man, but. Yeah, man, because everything, like, people is going to cleave to their con, man. But, we're going to get into this, how this even goes into, because we're going to get into this in another aspect, because, like, like Yahushua said, my words are, like, his words are spirit. Like, most of Yahushua's words are spirit. So, this even, what we about to read here, because every time, like, we talked about the scripture, we talked about, like, in the context of what we just talked about, how everybody, like, hangs with, like, different, people that are like them to their con. Now, sometimes it's two things can be true, because there are the certain things, like that can be true. Like sometimes opposites attract, as they say in the world, but also too, like but like we say here too, sometimes people just hang with their con, who they are, whether it's righteously or wickedly, honestly. But that's neither here nor there. Let's grab a Ecclesiastes, also known as Sarai, to the 13 verse 15. Every beast loveth his like, and every man loveth his neighbor. Verse 16. All flesh consorted according to his kind, and man will cleave to his like. So yeah, exactly, man. That's just is what it is too. And we talked about that scripture many a times too, as well, because I remember we talked about it. One of the times we talked about it was David and Abigail, honestly, because they even be, but one, Abigail was a righteous woman. She feared the Most High Yahushua. Even in that, like if you even read in between the lines, like David, because David probably saw like a lot of his qualities in Abigail when he saw her. Like not only that she was a beautiful woman, but okay, she was still an obedient woman to a wicked man, just like David was, because David was still obedient to Saul, even though how wicked Saul was, he was still obedient no matter what, because they both had that in common, that they feared the Most High Yahushua no matter what is going on, no matter who is I had to obey, to that the Most High Yahushua put over me, I will obey them. So we looked at in that aspect, but this aspect too, this is even going to the creation, to the beginning. Let's read this again. Every what you doing, catch. Every beast loveth his like, and every man loveth his neighbor. And verse 16, all flesh consorted according to kind, and a man will cleave to his like. So see, yeah, man. Let's get Genesis chapter 1 verse 21, because what we just mentioned, all we just talked about, is even in the animal kingdom we see that you have different like animals, they only hang around their kind. You have a certain, like even you got like big cats, right? But lions hang with lions, and like the cheetahs hang with other cheetahs, jaguars hang with the jaguars, or like even amongst the big cats, all big cats, but there's different types of like big cats, or you have different animals, like they just stay like where with their set, like animal group or kingdom, or like even if animals are related to one another, like they stay with that, honestly. So like see, that's what the beauty of the Most High House in the kingdom is, man. It's gonna be like the garden. All the animals are gonna be at peace with one another, man. But yeah, this even goes into the creation though, because that's why we gonna get that later in Ecclesiastes. But let's read this one more time about Ecclesiastes a little bit. It says, "Every beast loveth his like, and every man loveth his neighbor." Verse 16, all flesh consorted according to kind, and a man will cleave to his like. So see, let's get Genesis chapter 1 verse 21 to the point that we just made. And Yahweh created every whales, and this whale sometimes is talking about whales, but whales can be in Hebrew it's like kind of fish. So that's why the whole Jonah thing, we don't know if it was actual whale or fish, because if you look in the Hebrew, whale can be fishes. But Genesis 1 verse 21, and Yahweh created every whales, great whales, and every living creature that moveth, which the waters had brought forth abundantly after their kind, and every winged fowl after his kind. And Yahweh saw that it was good. So see that this is even going back to creation, man. Even like the animals move that way, man. Like because I got two cats, man. Like sometimes like usually cats, they gonna hang around like other cats, honestly. Like, that's why, like, different neighborhoods you see these cats, they roam with each other, or sometimes you got just different squirrels. They go with them, like, man. And so that's why they even say, like, the Ecclesiastes. Let's go to Ecclesiastes 3:18, man, because that's what and humans are similar in that aspect. Not saying that we're all the but that's why a lot of times too, like, the word even against, like, to you know men as beasts sometimes, man. So yeah, man, because everybody, like the saying goes, everything in for everybody. Like, it is what it is. People gonna cleave today, like, kind, and it's cool, man. It's not. And here's the thing where people make a mistake. That's why the Romans says what it says. If it so much be possible, be at peace with all men. Like, owe no man nothing but to love him, man. Because, yeah, listen, man, we all gonna be listen. There's differences between different people, man. But it is what it is. Don't mean you gotta be strive for things of that nature. But now, of course, it's a balance to that, man. Because the Proverbs in from the beginning, Genesis 3, like, the Most High house I see will always have enmity between the serpent seed or Satan seed. Just like, it says that in Proverbs and Wisdom of Solomon, like, the just, the faithful is abomination to the unfaithful, and the unfaithful is abomination to the faithful, and vice versa. So yeah, that is what it is. But and that goes back to that Genesis 1, the light and dark being separated to one another, man. So let's get this Ecclesiastes 3:18. It says, I said in my heart concerning the state of the sons of men, that Yahweh might manifest them, that they might see that they themselves are beasts. So see that? Yeah, man. So see that? Yeah, man. Just like, every flesh, like, and actually, let's read, we're gonna read this to 17, man, because to 18, to the point we just made. Verse 15, it says, every beast loveth, Ecclesiastes 13 verse 15, every beast loveth his like, and every man will love his neighbor. Verse 16, all flesh consorteth according to his kind, and a man will cleave to his like. Verse 17, what fellowship hath the wolf with the lamb, so the sinner with the godly? Verse 18, yep. And what agreement is there between the hyena and dog, and what peace between the rich and the poor? So exactly, kind of, that's why Amos says, can two walk unless they be in agreement? Certain people, they just don't mess well. That's fine, because me and my homies talking about that whole AJ Brown situation. Like, certain times, like, your morals or your character, like, your principles and your morals just don't align with other people, man. Don't mean it don't gotta be beef or strife, but this is what it is. I was watching even on their promo run for the Pusha T, like, for the Clips album, man, and Pusha T said something. He said, man, because they kind of went into the their fallout with Kanye, and he was going into, man, certain times it's like, it's not really a beef per se. It's just like, his principles didn't, like, align with our principles, man. We just didn't see, like, I mean, musically, business wise, like, as far as musically, yeah, like, it was great work on him. But he said even during that time, like, it just didn't align. What he stand for and what I stand for is just totally different. So, and that's how it is sometimes in life. Like, all right, cool. It's just like, that's is what it is, man. But I just want to talk about that because me and my homies talking about that. And I was looking at this yesterday, and also too that what we just read even goes back to the creation, goes to the beginning, man. Like, so yeah, man. Everything's like, is what it is, man. Certain people, like, hey, man, like, example, like, this channel might not be for certain people, and that's cool. Like, go to, like, another channel, that's fine. Like, or certain people, like, like this little thing here with what we got going on here, man. Like, just because honestly, man, it's really about the faith of the Most High house shop, man. And that's it is what it is, man. But yeah, this is what it is. So that's why even the roundabout way, that's what your house I was saying, like, those that do the will of my Father, those my family, man. That's is what it is. He cleaved to those that was of his like, and that's going back to what, being in his image, being his likeness, man. Not only just like physically, but spiritually, man, being of his likeness, man, being like, those that do the will, his Father's will, man. Him and his Father's will, man. Honestly, so hopefully it's edifying, man. So much love to y'all brothers and sisters. So peace.